Welcome back, gamers. Today we're talking about 10 Arma Reforger tips I wish I knew sooner. Alright, tip number 1 is bullet drop. Some new players might be coming from Call of Duty, where it's hit scan, there's no real bullet drop. I know when you play Warzone there is bullet drop, but multiplayer matches there's no bullet drop at all. Battlefield games there is bullet drop, but it's not a milsim style game. So, bullet drop is a real thing in this game, and it depends on what caliber you're using. Right now I have a 5.56 gun with tracer mags. I'm using tracers because it can kind of see the actual bullet drop. As you can see, the bullet drops quite a bit at that distance. Now, I don't know the meterage of where I'm hitting, so that's something you need to use either rangefinder or your binoculars to kind of test it out. So adjusting your meterage on your scope will be able to determine how far you are if you don't have a rangefinder. See, I'm set at 600 meters. I'm hitting just about where I'm aiming, so that's about 600 meters where I'm shooting, roughly, not 100%. You need a rangefinder to determine the exact distance, which you can put under your gun. Hold up just a second. If you're not already subscribed, you better hit that subscribe button. Make sure those notification bells are turned on. With that being said, let's continue to the next step. Coming in at number 2, we're going to talk about bullet timing. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that's the actual term of it, but it is when the bullet leaves the barrel of your gun to when it hits the target itself. Standing still targets is not a huge difference, but it has a lot of effect on it when you're using your gun sway, when you're aiming back and forth strafing. That timing will affect it. As you saw, when I strafe a little bit like this, the shot goes behind where the reticle is, because it's the timing in which it takes to travel to the target itself. I'll go ahead and insert a clip here of me sniping somebody, where as you can see clearly that I am aiming in front of the target, pull the trigger, and then the bullet will line up perfectly with the target itself. Tip number 3 is friendly fire. Obviously, I'm not going to go ahead and shoot my friendlies over here because that would be a bad thing. But friendly fire is a real thing in this game, and it can get you in trouble. If you friendly fire someone too much, you will lose rank, and you might even get banned if you consistently do it. You want to make sure you ID your targets and make sure they're enemies and not friends. Number 4, bullet ricochet. Bullet ricocheting is a real thing in this game. You might be wondering, why is that a big deal? Well, because if you're aiming at somebody and there's a car, you can actually bounce the bullet under the pavement under the car and hit the target. So you want to utilize that fact that you can bounce bullets off the ground. Obviously, at that point, they might not hit full power because it's a ricochet, but it's still pretty nice. Number 5, ammo capacity. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, you only need 5 or 6 mags, maybe 8 mags at total. As you can see here, I have 19 magazines for this gun. It might sound excessive, but it is not. Because if you get into a firefight, you can go through a lot of those mags real quick. A lot of times you're going to end up using a lot of those mags. You might not use all 19, but using full auto on a 30 round mag, you can dump it real quick, especially when you suppress fire. This is not Call of Duty, so you're going to have to suppress fire at times to help your team out, and maybe your team runs out of ammo, so you want to be able to have extra ammo for them. Number 6 is testing your kit. Pretty self-explanatory. When you build your kit, make sure you test it. What I mean that is spawn in, aim at the wall, make sure you're not aiming at, friendlies. Try your kit out, different sights, stuff like that. There's no harm in it. Testing your kit is always good. That way you can get attuned with your gun. The worst thing you want is to go into combat for the very first time and not knowing how your gun's going to run. Number 7 is controlled fire. Now that can mean life and death in this game. And what I'm talking about is full auto or single shot. If your target is very close up range, you're going to want it on full auto most of the time. But even then, you don't want to hold the trigger down and ride that trigger. You want to control burst it, so that way you can be more accurate, and you don't waste all your ammo. If my target is 100 yards out or more, 200 yards out, I will not use full auto. I'll put it on single fire only, and I'll control fire that. Because in this game, it is a milsim game, all you need is one good shot to kill the guy. So spraying bullets, realistically, is only good for close up, and suppressing fire, types of things like that. Number 8 is smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are some of the best things in this game. Now, there is a warning. I'll tell you the warning after. Smoke grenades can cover your teammates. You just go ahead and pop one down. Whenever someone is down on last stand, more or less, or if they're knocked out and you need to heal them, pop a couple of these out, wait for the smoke to build up, and you're good to, either push up on a base or heal a teammate. That being said, smoke grenades are very unpredictable depending on where the wind actually blows. I have been in situations many times where I threw smoke grenades and the wind screwed me up so bad it blew all the smoke to a different direction. And the warning I was talking about is sometimes with these mods and the smoke grenades, you'll get into a smoke grenade glitch, meaning you'll pull the pin of the smoke grenade, and your guy will never throw the grenade itself. Meaning the only way to do it is respawn or die to be able to get your gun back out. Number 9, ammo types. In this game, there's a lot of different ammo types. I'm not 100% sure on the Russian side, but I'm a little bit more familiar with the American side. These are what I run right here, M995. M995 is a steel core cartridge that's an AP round, meaning it'll penetrate light armored vehicles, walls, stuff like that. These are your standard 5.56 rounds, 30 round PMAG, and if you read down below, it says the last 5 rounds are tracers. So it's all normal ball rounds with the last 5 being tracers, so you know when you're about to run out of ammo, which is kind of cool. This one is the full mag is tracer, and this one right here is your standard ball rounds, no tracers at all. And then you have the 5-1T, which means it's 5-to-1 ratio of tracers. So for every 5 shots, you'll have 1 tracer round. For new users, I would say use tracer rounds. That way you can get it adjusted to the bullet timing, bullet drop, stuff like that. You can see where you're hitting. That being said, using a tracer round does give away your position. Once you get more familiar with the game, I would highly recommend switching over to the M995, which is the AP rounds. Number 10. Now, this is on number 10. There's no specific order. I feel as though this is the most important one, but some other people might not agree with this. Don't feel pressured by other players. Meaning, take your time to build your kit. There's some people, veteran Arma players, that'll sit here and be like, oh, stop playing Barbie, or get up. Like, I get it, I understand. You don't want the entire team sitting here at base, doing nothing, not helping. But you gotta understand, a lot of you are new players, viewers, stuff like that. And at the end of the day, build your kit how you want. Get used to your setup. Try different things. And then once you're ready, get into combat. That is it for today. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, make sure your notification bells are turned on, and I'll catch you guys next time.